Assalamualaikum and a very good day, everyone. My name is Husni bin Hussein, and today I am going to have a presentation of reflection about a video of teacher Val teaching a grade 4 class about natural disasters. In this video, instead of us just listing what he did, we will take a look at as to why he did those things. So to start, let's take a look at the context and the lesson overview. The subject is English, particularly focusing on the reading and vocabulary skills. The topic is natural disasters. Teacher Val taught a few uh, types of natural disasters, namely thunderstorms, tornadoes, and volcanoes. And the target is grade 4 at the Chinese school. So in today's video, we will take a look into the tools. The first one, Sean's reflection in, on, and for, and the maxims of teaching, which are simple teaching rules. So what are Sean's types of reflection? These are basically how a teacher thinks before, during, and after a lesson. And the maxims of teaching are classic rules for making sure students actually understand what is going on. Let's take a look at the first section. The first section, the game plan. Timestamp around 1 minute 42 seconds until 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Right at the beginning, we see what Sean calls as reflection on action. This is basically all the work the teacher did before the kids even walked into the class. He's got a star reward system ready for the boys and girls, and he starts by reviewing last week's lesson. This also fits perfectly with the maxim of moving from the known to unknown. He knows that if he just jumps into the scary word of the title, such as natural disasters, the kids might not understand well and slowly will shut down. So around the 4 minute mark, he asks the students for the Chinese translation uh, of each natural disaster. By letting them use their own language first, he's building a bridge. He's taking something they already know, which is the concept in Chinese, and using it to teach them the unknown, which is the English word. So this fits the maxim known to unknown. It makes the whole classroom feel safer and organized right from the start of the classroom. Next is the second section, thinking on the spot. This happens around the 6 minute 57 mark until about 10 minutes and 31 seconds. So as we move to the middle of the lesson, things get a bit more interesting. This is where we can see reflection in action, which is changing the pen mid-lesson. Teacher Bell realizes that the kids are curious about a specific thing, which is the time. What will we see when there's a thunderstorm? Will we see the lightning first, or will we hear the thunder first? At around this 6 minute mark, he, instead of reading the book or the slideshow, the teacher notices the kids are confused about which one comes first, the lightning or the thunder. He stops and explains the speed of light. This is suitable as the maxim of simple to complex. He starts with a simple question. What do you see first? and turns it into a more complex scientific fact about how light travels. In the moment, he reflected that, realizing that this side quest of a conversation is actually more valuable than just sticking to the textbook page. Moving on, the third section, real world connection. At the 14-minute mark, the teacher does something really clever to showcase the maxim of concrete to abstract. A vortex or a tornado is a pretty abstract and hard to visualize the idea for a 10-year-old, especially if they are geographically uh, seldom to see such a phenomenon. So he brings in something concrete, an ice cream cone. He compared the shape of the tornado with an ice cream cone. It's a brilliant idea, a way to make a big scientific concept feel like something they can touch and understand. Because kids always, and they will definitely know what an ice cream cone is. So by using the concept ice cream cone, they will know, oh, this is how a tornado would look like, just much, much bigger. Then when he shows the shuriken videos, he does another in-action reflection. He sees the kids getting excited like it's a movie, and he immediately slows it down to tell them that this is real life. And he shows all the ruined houses, all the families uh, affected by the natural disaster. In a way, he's teaching empathy, reminding kids that the videos show real people's homes, which makes the lesson much more deeper. All right, coming around to the fifth section, learning by doing. So at about the timestamp of 24 minutes, we can see that the kids have been slowed down or they have been sitting for a bit too long. So with this, the teacher reflects on the energy in the room and decides it's time for a game. This is called activity-based learning. He brings a student up to be the tornado girl and has her spin around blindfolded. It's fun, it's engaging, and it's also teaching. This reflects Sean's reflection in action theory, managing energy levels, and also Maxim activity-based learning. When they talk about the eye of the hurricane, the kids guess that it's the most dangerous part. Now, the Teacher Val, uses his reflection in action skills to gently correct them, explaining that it's actually the calmest part. He even mentioned that you can just drink a cup of tea in the middle of the eye of the hurricane, which emphasizes how calm the situation is in that situation. And his explanation was gentle and calm. He doesn't make them feel like their understanding was wrong. He just uses their guess to move the lesson forward. Coming to the sixth section, planning for next time. So we've come to the end of the class. The timestamp around 35 minutes until the end of the video. So in this section, we can see the reflection for action, which is looking at the future. This is the teacher thinking about the future. As he summarizes the 4 disasters, he's already teasing next week's lesson about what to do in an emergency. He's moving from the empirical, which is what they saw in the videos, to the rational, which are the notes they need to study. So he finishes the class by making sure they have something to take home in their notebooks. This shows that he's not just teaching for the day, but he's also reflecting on how to make sure they will pass their exams later. Overall, Teacher Val did a great example that he isn't just doing things inside his head, but someone who is constantly thinking and adjusting to his students' situation. Now, we've come up to my personal overview based on my own practical experience. So, with I would like to talk about the final part, which is the sixth section, the reflection for action, looking into the future. So, in the final few minutes, we can see the reflection for action. Teacher Val wraps up the days for disaster and gives the kids a sneak peek at next week's lesson. So this really resonates with my own experience during my practicum phase 1. I found that rounding off a class on an exciting high note is a total, we call it game changer for students' engagement. When I gave my pupils hints about what was coming next, I noticed a huge psychological effect. It wasn't just about the lesson itself, it affected the whole students' overall attitude. They were more likely to show up to school on time and come to class fully prepared before the lesson even starts. And that is all because they are genuinely excited to know what will happen in the next class or the next episode. It's like a TV show when if we know that something exciting is about to happen, we will become invested and we will continue to watch the TV show. However, the second point here, in my own practice, I learned that there's a very fine line here. Yes, we want to build excitement, but as a teacher, we have to avoid making frustrating cliffhangers. If a teacher leaves today's content hanging or unfinished just to get to the teaser, the students will definitely feel cheated or even confused because they did not get the whole uh, content of the day. The goal is to provide a total closure for the day's content, making sure they feel so in this case lah, in this case, making sure they feel like they mastered these 4 disasters while setting up a high note transition for tomorrow. As teacher Val does it, he makes sure they copy their notes first, so the day's content is locked in with the notebooks, and only then he promises that about the other 2 types of uh, what do you call that, natural disaster that is far more devastating from the other 4 that they learned of the day. So, in a sense, it's about ending with a sense of accomplishment, but also a hint of curiosity for the next class. Okay, so that is all for my presentation of reflection from Teacher Val. I hope uh, you all get the something new to learn from this video. And thank you.